Hello, and welcome to Chelmsford's Hidden Treasures, a Chelmsford telemedia production that will introduce you and me to some of the incredible environments that exist right in our own backyard. I grew up in Chelmsford, and quite frankly, I had no idea of all the shining little jewels that existed in our little town. Our town is fortunate to have the Chelmsford Open Space Stewardship. This organization maintains and improves these wonderful open spaces. With their cooperation, you and I are going to have an adventure exploring these various wonderful natural environments around our own little town of Chelmsford. My name is Michael Larkin, and welcome to Chelmsford's Hidden Treasures. Hi, today's adventure takes us to the Margaret Mills Crooked Spring Brook Reservation, which is located on Crooked Spring Road, just west of Meadowbrook Road. I would like to introduce you to Phil Stanway of the Chelmsford Open Space Stewardship. Phil, nice to meet you. Can you tell us a little bit about the stewardship?
The stewardship is a bunch of residents. We gather together, and our whole job is to maintain these open spaces, make the trails clear, wide, and easy to walk on. And today we're going to do a 1.25 mile walk, and we're just about ready to start here.
Phil?
Shall we go?
Let's take a walk. Phil, what kind of activities are encouraged here?
Well, each site has a different flavor and a different usage. The Crooked Springs here, we have walking, riding. No horses here. We have people who fish. Some of our other sites have canoeing, mountain bike riding. It depends on the terrain, and as we get more and more into the shows, you'll see the different areas and what trail usage they support.
How do people find their way around the trails?
Well, when we first started the program, every trail in town had a different color and a different sign, and people were lost. So the first thing we did was to standardize on the trail system, and we tried to come up with something very, very simple. And in Chelmsford now, first color is blue. You can see blue here on the trees. We originally painted them, but we're going to something that's easier. We have blue markers, and blue is a loop. So if you start here, you will end up here, and it's just one big circle. If you go on the blue and you realize, well, it's a little longer than I expected, I don't want to go as far, and you come across red, red cuts the blue in half. So you have blue circle, red in the half. And then finally, if you're walking and you want to say, well, I'd like to walk a little farther, you run into greens. Greens are on the outside of the blue. So you'll always go from blue back to your house. You can go from blue to green, back to blue and back again, or you can go blue to red and blue. So blue is the key.
Okay. Here at Crooked Spring, what type of markers do we have?
Here in Crooked Springs, we only have two, blue and red. It's 1.25 miles. We can't really support a lot of trails because we have Crooked Spring, which is a large pond.
Of course.
And that makes making trails across it rather difficult. So really it's a big loop trail with a cut across, and we'll see that as we get up to the sand pits and the high end.
Oh, great. Let's go. You were telling me about an Eagle Scout project nearby?
Well, there are 3 Eagle Scout projects here on the property. We're just coming up to one now. And this is an interesting one. This was done in the spring of '08. And the problem was we have Crooked Spring Road over there to the right, and all the water would run down the road. And in the summer, that could be well over 100 degrees. They would flow straight into the water here and superheat it,
Wow.
killing all the vegetation. So an Eagle Scout put this culvert in here. There's a holding pool to the far right, so the water pours in and it's held in a bowl and all the sediment falls out. Then it comes down this rock wall under the bridge into this lower pit here which slows it down, and then it goes through the woods and it cools down.
That's fantastic.
The bridge was added so that we didn't have erosion, and the trail was backfilled. It was a project that took several weeks. It was a big one. But there are 3 here on the property, and we're going to see 2 others. But the Eagle Scouts are one of the backbones of our trail system, and we incorporate them into our design as we go along.
Fantastic.
Mike, this way. I know it's a bit confusing, because this is the actual gas line, but this over here would be red.
Okay.
As you can tell by the marker on the tree. If you look at the tree over here, you see blue. So we're going to do the whole loop today. We're not going to let you do the half-mile loop, because it's a nice day and we can use the exercise.
All right.
So let's stay on the blue.
Very good. Thank you.
One thing you're probably noticing is the trails here. They're wide, they're clear, they're hard packed. There's no leaves on it. And if you look up at these branches and these trees, they've all been cut. And there's a reason for that. What we do is we stick with the trail purpose that you stick your arms out. Anything that touches your arms, you cut. Anything that's 2 feet above your head, you cut. The reason for that is so you don't get branches if you're riding a bike, and you don't get ticks. Because ticks sit in the grass and in the bushes. And the one thing we want to do is to keep it nice and clear.
Sure, people are worried about Lyme disease and everything these days.
I'm worried about Lyme disease, which is one of the reasons we blow the trails out and we keep them hard packed. You also don't trip over rocks, or you at least see them, and branches. So as we continue on, you'll see that the trail is, on this particular property, is good for all ages. And again, you can see we cut these trails here on the corner. Now, I can't tell you if it's the truth, but in this town there's always these stories handed down. I was told that this was the original sand pit that was used to construct Route 3, and that's how they got this end of the property. The crooked spring on the other side of the red trail is the water area. This was an old sand pit. So if you look at all of these trees here, they weren't here when they built Route 3, which was 50 years ago maybe. And you can see there's a nice hill here. Actually, if you're in the afternoons, you can see the cross-country team running up and down that. And if you want to give it a shot yourself, go ahead. I'll wait here for you to get back.
Thank you, but no.
But we'll continue on to look at some of the other stuff.
Terrific. Lead on. Is this the spot on the trail map that says 90-degree angle?
Yes, it is, actually. This is where we bend back on itself. The straight ahead trail goes into someone's yard. The right goes into someone's yard. This one goes into someone's yard. And if you can see there, the ancient rock painting on the rock with the blue arrow points the way as we swing back. This is the high end of the pit. So now we're going to go back towards the red again.
Okay.
Here's the top part of the hill. You believe the cross-country team runs up this many times a day?
I would rather not, thank you.
I think we took the easy way, up the backside.
Well done, well done. This looks like an amazing engineering project, Phil.
I would say it's up to Eagle Scout quality, because this was what it was. This was put in 2007. The idea is to get down the hill easily and avoid the vernal pool we're going to approach very shortly. But that's why we step back and then we go back to the left, because vernal pools are protected environments and we're not allowed to go near them.
What exactly is a vernal pool?
Well, it's a pool where frogs and endangered habitat live, sensitive habitat should I say. So as part of our conservation, we try to avoid them so we don't make a large impact. We want people to use the trails, but we don't want to impact the wildlife in the area. But as you can see, this is a very nice, so that's called a switchback, because it goes up one way and then switches back. It's a way to get up a steep hill easily. So let's proceed on to the vernal pool. Yeah, it's mainly known as the frog pond, as we call it. There's not too many frog ponds in the town. If you come down here in the morning or in the late afternoon, you'll hear nothing but bullfrogs. And that's a rare sound these days. But, and you can see above here the reeds. This is what the old vegetation used to look like. What you're seeing now is this purple loosestrife, which gets into this area and just kills it dead. So if you see those pretty flowers over the water, they're actually just killing the water. And what we would like to do is to see them restored to this, which is habitat for birds and creatures. But this is, if you have kids, this is a great place to come and catch frogs, something which I don't think we'll be doing for much longer.
This is a lovely spot, Phil.
This is one of my favorites, and this is our final Eagle Scout project on the property. This was done many, many years ago. The stewardship restored everything, put the new trails in, put the new gravel in. But in the winter, I've actually seen a blue heron. He lurks in the pipe directly under the road there, and you'll see him come out in the morning and pop back in and come back in. So it's kind of fun to see that.
Bird doesn't migrate?
Maybe it's just a strange bird,
Wow.
but I have seen it in the winter here.
Amazing.
And I've also seen some pretty big fish here, and then they go down to the other end, and it's nice.
No, this isn't National Geographic. This is Chelmsford Telemedia filming a blue heron at Crooked Spring Brook.
So this is one of my favorite spots of Crooked Springs. This and the falls are well worth the visit, and the 1.25 mile loop around you can walk. So let's finish off and head back towards the pond and the waterfall.
Terrific.
If you look up there, Mike, you see what I think is a lightning strike. You'll see the gap in the tree. When the lightning hits the tree, it boils the water inside and splits it open, kind of like a potato. So that is a tree that's been hit. We'll keep an eye on it, and if it gets bad, we'll have to take that particular section down for safety.
Another nice thing about Crooked Springs, it's less than 2 minutes away from Sully's Ice Cream. That's a nice way to end a walk in my book. On behalf of Chelmsford Telemedia, thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching. See you next time for more adventures in Chelmsford's Hidden Treasures.
So, son, what'd you do in school today?
Well, first I went to spelling, and then that was over. And then study hall, and then that was over. And then it was lunchtime, so I went to lunch. And then I ate it, and then lunchtime.
The less art
then
kids
we had
get,
recess, and then that
the
was
more it
over,
shows.
And school was over, and now I'm here.
Are yours getting enough?
Sounds like yesterday.
Art. Ask for more.
Hello, and welcome to Chelmsford's Hidden Treasures, a Chelmsford Telemedia production that will introduce you and me to some of the incredible environments that exist right in our own backyard. I grew up in Chelmsford, and quite frankly, I had no idea of all the shining little jewels that existed in our little town. Our town is fortunate to have the Chelmsford Open Space Stewardship. This organization maintains and improves these wonderful open spaces. With their cooperation, you and I are going to have an adventure exploring these various wonderful natural environments around our own little town of Chelmsford. My name is Michael Larkin, and welcome to Chelmsford's Hidden Treasure. Hi, we're here on Route 110 about half a mile from Chelmsford Center on the way to Westford, and you're probably wondering why I'm wearing this protective headgear. Well, we're here today at the Bruce and Tori Gullion Lime Quarry Reservation, and rumor has it that there is a exciting and potentially dangerous spot called the Bear Cave. I'm here once again with Phil Stanway of the Chelmsford Open Space Stewardship. And Phil, I notice you're not wearing any caving gear.
Well, with the bear around, I didn't think I needed it today, but
No need?
no,
No danger?
no bear.
What about my mosquito hat?
You'd look silly, but you can wear it if you want.
Well, shall we begin our adventure?
Yes, let's head into the quarry.
All right. Phil, I understand this is your primary site, your personal protectorate, as it were.
I am the site steward for the quarry along with Jim Tribou, and this is the map of our quarry. This is downloadable from our website. We are right here at the parking lot. The site has 3 quarries on it. We're going to be exploring this one and this one, the 2 quarries here. We are also going to look at the kiln, which is in here. The total trail is a little over 1.5 miles. It's for walking, biking, and this section trail here was designed especially for snowshoeing.
Wow.
But we're going to see some great stuff. I'm actually going to go down to the Bear Cave, which is up in here. So let's go to the first spot, which will be the first quarry,
Wonderful.
and explore the lime quarry.
Let's go. Great. So Phil, this is an actual lime quarry.
This is one of the pits. This was closed in 1830. These pits were started in 1740. And from these, they would take lime, and it's used in the plaster in some of the older houses in town.
It still exists in some
It
of the
still
older
exists.
houses. Yeah.
And this was actually closed in 1830, and that was because at that time Lowell had become active, and the price of wood shot up through the roof.
And they need wood to burn to make the lime or whatever they were making. Oh, wow.
And so then it was cheaper actually to get the wood and have the lime done in Maine and ship it down the Merrimack into Lowell. So I guess that was the first colonial outsourcing.
They outsourced
Outsourcing
to Maine.
So that's why these pits were closed. They were just no longer profitable. There are 5 pits in Chelmsford. There are 2 others that can be found on the side of Robin Hill or Robbins Hill. I'm not quite sure, depending on what era the spelling of that is. But we're going to go explore this, and I think we're going to go off and find a kiln. But as you can see, these are pretty deep, and we're standing on somewhere about 10 to 15 feet of rubble underneath these. So that's the full depth of those. These pits aren't dug out as the new pits are straight down. They would actually drive a horse in and dig the pit out level into the side of a hill. So this was a hill that they just kept cutting out and cutting out and cutting out. So now we're going to go see the kilns, which were associated on the far side of this hill, and see what an old 1740 kiln looked like.
Great. Let's explore. One of our upcoming hidden treasure shows is concerning geocaching. And Phil, I understand there's one here at Lime Quarry.
In fact, it's right here. This is the geocache for the lime quarry. Part of the stewardship, we maintain the geocaches on the properties. And you're probably wondering, what is in the magic box? Well, this is a geocache, and it's a high-tech treasure hunt. We'll have an upcoming episode soon. Let me show you some of the fun things you can get. You can get a plastic triceratops, maybe a ball,
All right.
necklace.
Necklace. Well, I found this diary. Just let me read a couple of things. This person said, great cache, big fun, took mini football, mini pen, left a Matchbox ambulance, and pink Super Ball. Love the fake rock, great cleanup at the site. So people leave notes and things in here.
So every time you come, you leave a note. You pick something out, you put something back in. But that'll be an upcoming episode. We also run a seminar once a year and teach you the art of geocaching. It's a fun thing.
Sounds
so let
great.
us return this to its secret location and continue our trek of the woods.
Very good. Phil, this is another Eagle Scout project?
Yes, this is, there are 4 bridges in here and 2 streams. So we have 2 crossings. As we proceed across the property, we'll cross all 4 bridges. But again, the Eagle Scouts, if it's not for them, we wouldn't have these bridges built. They're the backbone of a lot of the trails in this town.
Nice support. Very nice. Phil, as we're heading down the path, I noticed a stone wall along the side here.
Now this is all farmland 200 years ago, or since then none of these trees would have existed. They've all been cut down.
So this was all open space for farming.
Just farming. And since then they've come in. The stone walls we're not allowed to touch because the stone walls are boundary markers in Massachusetts. So we have to find openings like this to go through. But yep, you'd have found no trees here before.
And this trail, you say, can be used for snowshoeing in the winter?
It's a wonderful snowshoeing trail.
I almost can't wait for snow.
Hey Mike, want to come check out this beaver dam over here?
I can see it just fine from here, Phil.
But you don't get the smell and the mud and the water.
You can tell me later. Thank you.
All right.
As you can see, the beaver have really blocked up quite a large expanse. Phil, the water's about 3.5 feet deep behind there?
Easily. And you can see it across from the quarry. The water's rising in the wetlands.
Does it ever lead to flooding?
Hopefully not, but it's very close.
Phil, this is a beautiful spot.
This is one of my favorite spots in the entire trail system. This is on our snowshoe trail. We assembled and built this bridge, the stewards did. And to build this whole bridge took the stewardship, there was about 10 of us, 2.5 hours from carrying the first piece of wood in from the parking lot to this point.
Wow. That is a workout.
But this is a great place to come in. Right now the water's low because we're in the middle of summer. But if you come here in the spring, this whole stream is rushing. It's about 100 feet up. And then in the winter, of course, it's all ice. And this is a beautiful place for snowshoeing, which is especially designed for that.
Lovely.
So I say we take a minute and then we head off to the main quarry pits.
Good plan. Phil, we already visited one quarry now. Is this the main quarry here?
This is the main quarry, as we call it. There's 2 main pits here. We're in the secondary pit, and then we're going to go down into the main pit. You get an idea of how deep these are and how rugged.
Okay.
It's fun, but small kids I wouldn't bring into this section. But if you want to do a rugged walk, this place is just absolutely amazing. So let's go check out the bear cave.
Okay. Ooh. Where's my helmet?
And the other caves down on the far side.
After you. So this was all carved out by hand?
By hand, in summers, winters.
You can see the marks.
It's amazing. This is, we're pretty deep now. We're still stood on 10 feet of fill of this from the other pits.
Wow.
So now we're going to go down into the cave.
This isn't the bear cave.
No, the bear cave is on the other side.
Let's go
so
to
let's
the bear
head out
cave.
to the cave now.
At last, we're at the bear cave. I'm not sure where Phil is. I'm going to try to find him. Grr. Hello.
That's about the only bear you're going to find in here.
Wow. This is all hand carved again.
Yeah, a long time ago. So hopefully it will stay up for a little bit longer. But this is the bear cave. It never was a bear cave. It's just one of the pits where they would just dig in, and they stopped doing it.
Now, we're going to go see where they took the lime?
We're going to go see the best remaining kiln in the area.
Terrific.
And that's our next stop, and then we're off to get a cup of coffee.
Very good.
Well, Mike, this is the main pit we're going to go through. And if we're lucky, we can actually find some old limestone here. So keep an eye open.
Will do.
It's kind of whitey white, like a crystally
Let me take a
powdered
look.
rock.
I think I might see some down here.
And then we'll take that and we'll head down to the, that would be limestone.
Is this it?
Yep, well let's take that and head down to the kiln
All right.
and finish up the trip. So you can see this is pretty deep here.
A lot of work they did. They found so many minerals around here that they actually named one of the minerals Chelmsfordite.
That's true, you can actually find it online. I'm not a rock hound myself, but we find lots of them here who come to look for the rocks. On certain types of these rocks, if you look for them, you can find the crystals inside, which I think is kind of fun. So if you're a rock hounder, this is another great place to come. So
Maybe we'll find a diamond.
I wish.
Here we are in the actual kiln. This is where the lime rock was, well, you explain it. How did this work?
Well, the lime rock was stacked in alternating levels with wood and burned. And that produced the lime, which was then used to make plaster, which was then used to make the walls in the houses in Chelmsford.
It still exists.
So most of them do, actually.
Wow.
And the plaster is supposedly some of the hardest that was ever made from this area. Some unique chemicals in it.
And this was all made right here? This was the actual fire pit.
And if you look in the back, you'll see there's actually a draft going up through the rock,
I can see it.
which would draw out the fire or the smoke.
Fantastic.
Well, that ends our lime quarry.
Okay.
And I think for fall, we should come back in the winter, because see this in the winter and do some snowshoeing.
Sounds
But
terrific.
right now, I'm ready for a cup of coffee.
Let's head out. We're here at the Java Cafe at 14 Littleton Road in the Ginger Ale Plaza. We're enjoying a cool mango smoothie. The Java Cafe is a wine and espresso bar and a jazz cafe. On weekends they have live jazz, and quite frankly, I can think of nothing better than a cool drink and live hot jazz. From all of us at Chelmsford Telemedia, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon for our next exciting adventure of Chelmsford's Hidden Treasures.